TJ, what was your reaction when you saw those comments from Jay Bilas about Alex?
I thought it was a little late. I mean, I could have told you that at the beginning of the season, but it's good to finally let Alex get some of that recognition because, like everybody else is seeing, he's the best shooter in the country. I mean, shooting 48 plus the last 3 years is remarkable, and I have all the confidence in Alex, and I don't really think he's going to miss any shots, especially if he's open. I just get back. You'll see sometimes I run down the court with my hands up because I already know it's going in.
I think you told us that before the season was going to start, right? That he was the best in the country.
Oh yeah. Our whole team knew it. It was just a matter of time for the world to find out.
How important was it for this week for Caleb to have the kind of closeout he did in San Francisco and just the week in general?
I think it was a great week for Caleb. He made great strides forward. He's been playing hard all year, but for himself and what he had planned for himself, I think he met some of those goals this past weekend. And we got the utmost confidence in Caleb. He came away with a big rebound at the end of the game against San Francisco, and it's just all with confidence, and he's been playing with it out there, and we got all the confidence in Caleb, and he's just going to continue to get better along with the other guys. So it was just great to see him, do good.
Mark was kind of talking about how he's been indifferent thrown into like the 3, 4, and 5, and do you feel like he, from your perspective, is kind of settling into his role now and kind of down the stretch of this run?
Yeah, everyone's been changing positions around because of, the key injuries we've had this year. And, it's been difficult, but, we're learning on the fly. And, you got to give credit to Caleb, guys like Caleb, Seneca, Foose, and all the guys that's out there learning new spots just because, ultimately that's what we have to do in order for us to be successful. So, can't ask that much of them because, they've been doing a pretty good job. And with the record we have now, couldn't be more proud of what we've been through and what we're overcome.
John, how do you feel like the team will fare in avoiding maybe an emotional letdown this week? After playing a pair of quad one games, how do you guys just avoid that letdown for two teams that, on the outside looking in, would be viewed as lower rated teams?
Approach every day like we've been doing. I don't think there's been a game where we've been like, all right, we can take a night off. It didn't matter who we played. Even when we played like Westminster or Central Methodist, those teams, we always prepared the same and want to go out there and fight the same way. And so it's no different with these teams. Just because they're not so-called predicted to be at the top of the league, they're still going to give us the best shot possible. And they're still great teams. And, it's still the West Coast Conference, so it's still a pretty good league. But at the end of the day, we got to take care of one game at a time. Next up, we have San Diego. They're 3-1 right now. They're tied for us for second, and so we got to go in and play hard, play defense, make our shots, and do the best we can and get a win because it's not going to be easy. I mean, every game's a dogfight out there.
What have been your impressions of the West Coast Conference? You've been in Big Ten and the Horizon League. What do you make of maybe the style of play and personnel in the WCC?
It's definitely different than all of the places I've been at. There's more shooting, I would say, from different spots throughout the floor. Big tempo, Big Ten's more, bigger guys, play inside out. Milwaukee Horizon was more small ball, and everyone just being able to handle it. But, it's a great league. San Francisco's great teams we played, St. Mary's, Gonzaga, those are all great teams, and I'm just looking forward to playing the next couple games and seeing what the other teams have.
How much confidence do you and this group have with just how many different ways you guys have won games? I mean, every game it feels like if you're winning, you're finding different ways to come away victorious.
Yeah, I think we have the utmost confidence, especially because the coaches give us and then all the leaders do. I don't think there's one way which makes us unique that makes us being able to win games. Like sometimes teams are like, oh, if you take away their three-point shooting, then you'll win. Or if you take away their inside game, you'll win. But I think we've shown that we can win multiple ways, defensively, making threes, twos, and, it's just a matter of time for us to put it all together and be able to, get great wins and extend those leads and stuff. But it's been, crazy and, very good that we can find ways to win without, necessarily hitting shots or not necessarily playing our greatest defensive night and just finding ways to win. And I think that's what makes this group special because we just keep fighting, and find ways.
How are the hat sales coming along since your merch dropped?
It's actually been pretty well. A lot of people back at home, a lot of people here has been ordering them. We got to get a new shipment in for the gray ones, the gray and navy. That's one of the best sellers right now. But I'm just super thankful for the collaboration with Brock and Steel Hats, and I'm just excited to keep working with them.
Can I get super like in-game kind of nerdy with you there? Because there was a moment at USF where you guys had just completed this crazy big comeback, and you're up 3 in the final minute. And most of the time, that's the point. Like a lot of coaches, I think nowadays like to take that and like play really good defense. Don't let them get a shot off. Defend the 3-point line, like that kind of thing. You guys fouled, and it worked out really well. Obviously, Coach was saying after the game that he didn't think that was maybe the right decision, but it turned out really well. Was that intentional at all, or like, do you remember kind of?
Are you talking about when I fouled on the wing I think it was on the wing, the left wing. Yeah. So
I thought it was a great play. I just don't see that from coaches a lot. To kind of want that.
Yeah. So after looking at it, well, in my head, I wasn't trying to foul, and honestly, the way they were calling the game, I didn't think that was a foul. The way they've just been calling the game the whole time, and so I didn't think it was a foul. But like you said, it ended up working. And then after watching it with the film, I seen that they were trying to throw a hammer pass, try to drive baseline with a little give and go action and throw a hammer pass to get a 3 off. And so it worked out well for us at the end of the day. I mean, I did ask Coach when Alex went to the line. I went over there, if you saw, and went over there and asked him and said, hey, when he makes these 2, you want us to foul? He's like, yeah, only if you get a clean look at a foul. And so Alex ended up making it 2, and so then you can see Coach look at me and like shake his head and say no. So
does Coach give you guys a little bit of latitude in game to be like, hey, you guys know the situation, go play. I'm not necessarily going to tell you exactly what to do, but now just go play, like you kind of know where you're at?
Well, I'm pretty sure Coach has a lot of confidence in us, and then he tries to tell us what he sees. But, I just looked at the clock and my awareness and just was like, hey, we have a chance to go up 3 with like 12 or how many seconds was left. And I was like, hey, do we want to foul so they only could get 2? Because they had a lot of great shooters on the floor. And so I'd rather take my chances with us, getting back to the free throw line with, more than likely me and Alex going to the line and extending the game like that instead of them taking a 3-point shot to, possibly tie it.
Like I said, I love the move. I'm going to show it to the Lon Kruger School of Fouling went up 3.
Mm-hmm.
Lon Kruger was an old Oklahoma and UNLV coach. He used to do it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like more coaches need to do it. So I'm probably going to show them your play and be like, this is why.
Yeah, it depends on who's your coach. Some coaches like to foul. Some coaches want you to play it out, and it just depends on who's the coach.
Yeah.
What did you see on Caleb's rebound there at the end of the San Francisco game? Kind of kept the possession alive for you guys. What did you see on that play? How would you describe it for him to get to that ball?
I would say it's what Scala's been doing all year, honestly. I don't think his rebounding has been any, drought this year, really. He's been great offensive rebounding. That's why it makes us one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. And he has a knack for the ball. And so when he got that rebound, all I could do is just think about sprinting over there so we can get it and try to waste more time. And as soon as it came off, I seen Caleb chase it down, and I knew that he was going to come up with it. There was no way that he wasn't coming up with that one unless the guy fouled him. And so it just shows you how, Caleb would do anything for this team. He made a key bucket at the end of the game and then getting that rebound to basically seal the game. And so that was huge. And, Caleb's just doing anything he can out there to make plays, and that's all we ask for guys to do.
During practice, Tijon, we got the chance to see you guys go live 5-on-5 with some of the scout team guys in the green and yellow jerseys. I'm curious, what impact do they have in your preparation for these games? And also wanted to get your thoughts on Trey Stewart and maybe his development in his first year with the program.
We have to give credit to those guys, scout team. They do a great job in preparing us. Without them, we're not nearly half as good as we are. Just along with the guys that help us with the managers and guys that help us get up shots after practice, and those guys don't get noticed enough. And I think we need to show them credit because that's all in our family, and that's what helps us succeed. But the scout team prepares us great. They come in early, learn the other team's plays, and learn the other team's tactics, individual player tendencies, and they try to reenact those in practice, and they push us every day. And I think that's what contributes to us winning. Without them pushing us every day, we don't get better, and we don't prepare ourselves. And so honestly, when we win games, they win as well. And so the scout team has done great, and like I said, we wouldn't be where we are without them and our managers and all the supporting staff that we have.
And just maybe your thoughts on Trey Stewart,
Trey.
Him being a future guard in the program, what do you think of him?
Trey is a great guy. I love being around Trey, and right now what he does very well is challenge you defensively. Trey has a long wingspan. He can pressure you up the floor. And he's just a great player overall. He's a great teammate, and somebody that in the coming years you don't want to have guarding you with the ball. He already frustrates me and Alex a lot during practice, and we're like, man, he's fouling this, that, and another. But that's what I think prepares us for in the games. Like Bouye and those guys are fouling us too. But hey, Trey plays way harder in practice for us, and he's out there guarding us with super length, and so it's the utmost confidence he gives us in practice. When he kills us in practice, it helps us out during the game.
Mark was kind of talking about how he does look at the AP top 25 poll, even if it's not necessarily the best metric, just for the perception of the program. I'm curious, do you care at all about where this team is ranked in the AP poll, and do you look at that stuff at all?
Yeah, we pay attention to it a little bit. Of course, you want to get in there, be ranked. It's always a good thing to have that number by you when you're playing. And so I think we were 27 this week, and I was happy that we jumped a little bit and made it that far. I would have been a little surprised if we made it in there, which I thought we was going to be at least 25. But it's cool. It's not something that we can measure our success off of, because the ultimate goal is just to win games and get into the NCAA tournament and win. But if we can get into that top 25, it just gives us another milestone that we have completed. And I think our guys know what it takes to beat top 25, and that's just continue to win games, and everything else will take care of itself.
Are you guys basketball nerds enough that you're more concerned with things like net and KenPom and Turbig ratings and that kind of thing? I know your coaches are big analytics guys.
Oh yeah,
On you guys too?
they're pretty big, but sometimes you can hear guys talk about when I'm pretty sure everyone's seen 9 ranked teams lost, so then we're like, hey, we might have a chance to get in. It's just all over social media. You see it, and so you have pretty much no choice because you're a basketball player. You follow all these ESPN, Fox, and you see all these college hoops notes and stats and stuff. But we talk about it a little bit, but I don't think that's the main thing that we talk about in that locker room, because we just try to focus in the moment and stay in the moment and try to focus on the next game. We don't really care if we're ranked or not, but at the end of the day, it's definitely something that's good for us. But we just want to keep winning games. That's our main goal and main purpose.